It's 2 a.m. You're in bed. The room is dark. You're exhausted. And then, out of absolutely nowhere, your brain decides it's the perfect time to remind you of that thing you said at a party in 2016. You know the one. Maybe it was a joke that landed wrong, a name you mispronounced in front of everyone, something you texted an ex, something you did in front of your whole class when you were 14 years old. And just like that, you're wide awake. Your body physically cringes. You might even groan out loud, alone, in the dark, because of something that happened a decade ago. Here's the question nobody ever asks. Why does your brain do this? Not just what it feels like, but what is actually happening inside your head at 2 a.m. when these memories attack. Because there is a real psychological reason. And once you understand it, it genuinely starts to happen less. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it intrusive autobiographical memory, which is a very scientific way of saying your brain ambushes you with your own past. And it's more common than you think. Studies show that almost everyone experiences unwanted memories that trigger feelings of embarrassment, shame, or secondhand cringe. It doesn't matter how confident you are. It doesn't matter how long ago it happened. Your brain files it away, and it waits. The weird part is the timing. It's almost never during the day when you're busy. It's at night, when everything is quiet, when your guard is down, when you're just about to drift off to sleep. That is not a coincidence. And that's the first key to understanding why this happens. So why does your brain wait until you're at your most defenseless, and then play you a highlight reel of your worst moments? Is it punishing you? Is something wrong with you? The answer involves three things: your default mode network, a psychological phenomenon called self-discrepancy theory, and something called the Zeigarnik effect. I know those sound complicated. I promise they're not. And by the end of this video, you'll never think about your 2 a.m. brain the same way again. Let's get into it. Reason 1. Your brain has a night shift. During the day, your brain is busy, processing tasks, conversations, decisions. That busyness acts like a filter. It blocks out a lot of internal noise, including uncomfortable memories. But at night, when you stop doing things, a specific network in your brain switches on. Scientists call it the default mode network. Basically, your brain's idle mode. And what does it do when it idles? It reviews, it wanders, it looks inward. It starts processing everything that didn't get processed during the day. Emotions, unresolved thoughts, things that felt slightly off, and embarrassing memories sit right at the top of that pile because they're emotional. And emotional memories always get priority. You're not more anxious at night. You're just finally quiet enough to hear what your brain has been trying to say all day. Reason 2. The gap that won't close. Psychologist E. Torrey Higgins developed a theory called self-discrepancy theory. The idea: your brain holds two versions of you simultaneously. Your actual self, who you genuinely are, how you actually behave, the things you actually say at parties, and your ideal self, who you believe you should be. Confident, articulate, never saying the wrong thing. Every time there's a gap between those two versions, every time your actual self fell short, your brain stores that moment. Not out of cruelty, out of a genuine drive to improve. The cringe at 2 a.m. is your brain measuring the gap, replaying the moment not to torture you, but because it's still trying to figure out what it should have done instead. People who cringe the most are often the ones with the highest standards for themselves. Embarrassment is a sign of self-awareness, not weakness. Reason 3. The unfinished business effect. In the 1920s, a Russian psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik noticed something strange. Waiters could remember every detail of orders they hadn't delivered, but the moment an order was complete, they forgot it almost instantly. She discovered that the human brain holds incomplete tasks in an active loop, constantly returning to them until they're resolved. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. When you said that awkward thing at that party, nothing resolved it. You didn't get confirmation that people forgot. You didn't get closure. The social loop stayed open, so your brain keeps returning to it. Not because it's broken, because it's doing exactly what it was designed to do. Most embarrassing memories can never be finished. The moment is gone. And so the loop stays open, sometimes for years. That is why the memory from 2009 still hits at 2 a.m. in 2025. What to actually do about it? Knowing why doesn't automatically make it stop. Here are 3 things that psychologists say actually help. First, name what's happening out loud. When the memory hits, say, "This is my default mode network processing unresolved emotional data." It sounds ridiculous. It works. Naming the process activates your prefrontal cortex and slightly interrupts the loop. Second, deliberately close the loop. Write the memory down. Write 1 sentence about what you wish you'd done differently. That act of externalizing it gives your brain the resolution it's been looping for. Studies on expressive writing show this reduces intrusive memory frequency over time. Third, remember the spotlight effect. Psychologist Thomas Gilovich found that people dramatically overestimate how much others notice and remember things about them. The person you embarrassed yourself in front of in 2016, they forgot by 2016. The only person still watching the replay is you. Let that land. Your brain is replaying a movie that everyone else already left the cinema for. Before you go, I have to ask, what just came to mind while you were watching this? Because I guarantee something did. Some memory your brain served up the moment I said that thing you said at a party. You don't have to share the memory itself. Just drop in the comments. How old were you when your most persistent cringe memory happened? I have a theory that most people's worst ones are from a very specific window of their life. I want to see if the comments prove me right. If this video gave you a name for something you felt for years, that's what this channel is for. Every video here takes something your brain does that feels weird or out of your control and explains exactly why it happens. Because understanding your own mind is one of the most useful things you can do. Subscribe if that sounds like something you want more of, and I will see you on the next one.